What is going on, you guys? This is your man King May coming back live with you guys right here on the King May YouTube channel. Y'all, we have ourselves part number 3 here of the podcast, and yes, it's going to continue on from the time lapse from Tuesday. I want to make sure I keep getting these out to you guys because I really like this time lapse style presentation of this podcast. It was a lot of fun making this podcast, and we just did another one this weekend as well. So if you guys check the link in the description below, you will see TheFormalPickle's webpage where his podcasts are right there, as well as his merch and anything else. So make sure you guys go check that out. But anyways, please make sure you like and subscribe to the video if you have not yet already. It greatly helps me out, and hope you guys enjoy. You know, can I get a shout out? Well, getting a shout out, I'm looking at a few different things, and I'm sure you kind of do the same thing too, right? Because now it's a matter of, you know, as people start to notice the trend of what it is that you're doing, the success that you begin to have, the growth that you begin to see, and it's a matter of, well, can I guess they kind of hop on that, can I grab on your tail feathers?
Right.
Sort of, if that makes any sense. Now it's a matter of exactly what we just said. What is your why? What is your why of the backing for which I am giving a shout out for? And there's people that I absolutely love that are in my community, but I know that they haven't quite found that. And given time, they will. And once they do, they're going to succeed. And I guarantee they're going to do well. But is right now the time that I should? You know what I'm saying? Because that also becomes a trend of now that person is linked to your name, which is another thing that you always got to look out for as well, right? Because with networking also comes a matter of who are your friends? What are they doing? You get what I'm saying? I can't explain the unbelievable people that I've met in the King May community and the amount of skills that all of these people bring and just the down-to-earth, amazing people that they are. And growing from that, now it's kind of a trail of excuse me of
Nice.
you know, who are they, right? And then you're giving that shout out to them, which again I feel anyways that I had to continuously build with you through our natural relationship that we have grown, right? Of me trying to still, even though I had started to find some success with Twitch, still finding, well, what's my why?
Right.
Why is it that I'm starting to network well? Why is it that I'm starting to build this community? Why is it that, you know, my streams are enjoyable to be in, not only for myself, but ever for the other people that are watching? And because I won't lie, I didn't know when I met Jake.
And no one knows right off the bat. Nobody. And it evolves too. That's another important detail
Oh,
that
yeah.
I think people may forget. It evolves over time.
I love that point. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. That is spot on. Is that I think that part hurts some people sometimes too, is the sense that it's going to continue to evolve and grow. And with that growth, it might change a little bit, it might alter, but that person is still the same. They're just trying to improve. And I love that point.
Well, thank you. Another thing that I wanted to touch on real quick, everything we're saying, I understand that it can sound like, oh, that means these people that have these, followings in the slightest, they're just being, what's the term here? Greedy, and they don't want to help people out. That is not the case in the slightest. Maybe for some people. I mean, I'll admit, maybe for some people. Sure, I can't speak for everyone. But when we tell you, you need to know the why. You need to know why you, and this sounds so rude, and I'm always prefaced with, I don't mean this to be rude, but why should people care? Like, why do you matter? The reason we say you need to figure that out is because it's only going to help you. And if you can't answer that, then you need to. You need to figure it out.
especially for if this is actually something that you want to take seriously. And
Right.
yeah, I love that point too, because that's another thing that you grow with as well when it becomes the difference between a hobby and a job, right? And some people don't like that sense of, a lot of people want YouTube, they want Twitch, they want these things to be a hobby so that it stays fun. Well,
Right.
I would beg to differ that when you find a job that you love, it's no longer work, but
Absolutely.
you treat it like work. You get what I'm saying? Like
I mean,
it's
there are gonna be aspects of it that you think, man, if I have to keep doing this, I'm gonna burn myself out. But if that's the case, here's a secret. Uh, hire someone to do that.
yeah,
Because if you're at the point where it is your job, then you can probably afford, not maybe not, but you can probably afford if you really value it enough to hire someone to do whatever that task is that makes you feel burnt out.
yep, yeah. Because you look at, I mean, you've even done this. You've networked. You have your friend. You got Gilbert, who has
Yep.
helped you with editing videos to take some of the load off so that you can focus on, maybe using that, however, insert however much time it is, use that time to focus on just you and yourself to catch your quote unquote break that you need to kind of just slow down a little bit, regain your mindset, right? Um,
Right.
you look at any of the bigger Twitch, let's call them content developers, whether it be on any platform, it doesn't matter which platform, but at some point, if you're trying to continue to grow it, you got to start treating it like a business. But again, if you're actually enjoying that business that you've created, it's still a hobby. You want to go and do that. You want to put in the time to create that content, to make that video, to edit that video. You want to do those things. It's no longer a that dreading sense of, well, I need to go and do this today. And
Right.
we all have those days. I have those days.
Oh, I have them too. Yeah.
Everybody has them.
Absolutely.
And it's it's a sense of getting past that and then growing from that, right? Getting back to what you and I were just talking earlier, is getting to that point of, okay, is this just a hobby, or is this something that you want to do? You got to figure that out, because if you're just going to give up on it, your why is not going to be strong enough to drive you through anything that you're doing, and then it's going to reflect and it's going to shine through your content. So I don't know. That was kind of the biggest thing that I wanted to wrap back to is figuring out that
Right.
why. It's so unbelievably crucial, because that's what's going to shine through on all of your content, at
It's
least
honestly,
majority of it.
I mean, in the grand scope of like understanding uh content creation and determining whether or not you want to do it, or like if you will even succeed, that's the biggest factor. The biggest factor is your why. You have to think on it, and I even recommend you don't come up with the answer in the same day you ask yourself the question.
We've, oh, dude, how many? Oh, you're hitting all the sweet spots, dude.
I
How many times have you and I, whoever's in the chat, how many times have you and I had this conversation, and somebody else comes in, and as soon as that point is brought up, it's like this, whether it's seconds or minutes
mhm.
of them trying to find the response. Don't. Don't. Just sometimes you don't have to respond. Just absorb. Listen.
Right. Yeah, we had this conversation many a time with many people, and when I ask you why should people want, like, why should they care to watch your videos? Why should they care to come to you instead of someone else? I'm not looking for you to answer me. I
Yeah.
don't want you to answer me because I want you to think on that. It's a rhetorical question. You still need to have an answer, but your answer is not going to be good enough if you answer it within the same day there.
I, th-
within the same, at least,
uh,
you know,
I want to
close.
say almost every time you and I have had that conversation, I still don't think I've responded.
I don't. I think maybe so. I want
Like
to say
in my
one
head,
time,
I know, you know what I'm saying? Like
right?
in my head, I know who it is that I am when I'm streaming, and in my head, I'm figuring out how can I most in the best form carry that what I have grown and learned about myself through streaming. How am I going to transfer that into YouTube? Right? I'm still trying to figure that out. So even every time that you and I have had this conversation, although many a time, I still don't even think I've responded to it because I'm still like, how do you transfer that to YouTube? Especially, it's one thing when
Right.
you've built it on one platform, but now to transfer that, and for some it's easy, right? Because they'll
Hmm.
just do the same content across the board, if that makes any sense. Like,
Right.
yeah, I love that you pointed that out. That it's not always one of those things. Like if we have that conversation when it comes up, it's not always about responding. It's about understanding it. And like you said,
It
it's always been a
exactly.
rhetorical question.
Yep. That is exactly the case. And I don't now on the flip side, I'm certain that these people, when we have these conversations, I'm certain, at least I hope, that they still continue to mull over that in their mind. I have a feeling, and many times, maybe not for all of them, but a couple that I have in my mind right now, I guarantee you they gave us that answer because they felt obliged to give that answer. But I don't think they were satisfied with their own answer. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure in the back of their mind, they still, and even to this day, without knowing it, are probably mulling it over. One of these days, it will click and they'll just go, oh my gosh, I understand now.
Yeah. Yeah. And and again, I mean, we said this earlier. I just want to make sure that we make this clear again. I want to reiterate. We in no mean, no,
We in no
we,
means.
we in no
We no
means, we know me. We by no means are meaning this in any way, shape, and form to be negative. To be, I just don't want anybody feeling like we're ripping on them because especially I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
it's one of those
No,
things
and
that you and I have just wanted to have this natural conversation for a podcast that
mm-hmm.
we wanted to bring these points out because it's just a reoccurring question that
Right.
we felt needed to be touched on. And again, I can help chip in, but a lot of it is based off of you and your experience, especially with YouTube, because especially you and the guys, you've all have had unbelievable success when it comes to YouTube and what it is that you guys have achieved. But it always comes to the same questions: how, why.
Right.
Well, when you find your why, you look at when you actually get down to the nitty gritty of things that I've analyzed between Buck, between you, between Grant, between all of you guys. It's unbelievable because all of you have found your why, and all of your guys' whys are all unique and different, but
Right.
blend and match. Therefore, allowing you guys to have such great friendships and the networking that you have obtained. It's one of those things that I've been analyzing that for the last year and more and longer, right?
Right.
Where, I think sometimes that I feel like those questions get asked, and it's being asked to me now as well. They get asked because it's sometimes people see it wrong, I think. And I think they see it like this is a way I can make money,
Mm-hmm.
or this is my way to be famous. It's not about being famous or. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for us here on part number 3 of this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't yet already. And please hit that like button for me as well. I greatly appreciate it. And we will catch y'all next time. Peace.